in the kitchen ready to make a really fun craft. Now, we have only a couple of supplies. We need our bar of ivory soap. Now, it's very important that you use ivory soap. It has to be the original ivory soap. And I bought this kind at the store. I got a 3-pack for like $1.50, so it's really inexpensive. And then you need some cookie cutters. You need a bowl. We're going to need a 1/4 cup of water. And then we need some soap coloring. If we decide to do, well, we're going to do the second part, but you don't have to. The first thing we're going to do is actually cook our soap. We're going to make soap clouds. So what you need to do is unwrap your soap. This is a really cool, it's kind of like a science experiment. Okay, and you're going to need a paper towel and your microwave. So what you're going to do is open your microwave and lay your paper towel out so that if you have a glass tray, you want to be sure it covers the whole glass tray. And then you're going to take your bar of ivory soap. This is going to be so cool. And you're going to put it just right in the middle, just like that. You're going to close the door and cook it for 1 minute. And I hope you're able to see what happens because it's really awesome. It'll take probably about 20 seconds before anything happens, but just watch here. Any minute now, any second now, we should start to, oh, there we go. Do you see that? Can you see what it's doing? It's growing. Now the cool thing about this experiment is this is the 3rd time I've done this, and every time the soap cloud does something different. One time it went really wide. It was kind of flat, but it went really wide. Another time it got really tall. It looks like this time it's getting really tall as well. Wow, that's so cool. Now what you can do is if you want to, leave this soap cloud just the way it is, and you could just drop that in your bathtub and take your bath and use that as your soap that way. Or you could do what we're going to do for the second part of our video, and that's make customized soaps. Whoa! Look at this. Well, we got some that didn't melt, so I'm actually going to put it back in for about 30 seconds, and we'll see what this clump does. It's on my finger. So what we're going to do for the next part, after we take our soap cloud out, if you decide you want to make your customized soaps, this is where your cookie cutters come in. And you can kind of see here on the tray that I've got some already started. What we're going to do is we'll make our soaps, and these are going to have to sit overnight to kind of get hardened up a little bit because we're going to add our special soap coloring and then some water. So I'm going to grab some water quick. You guys, whoa, check out the cloud. That is so cool. You're going to be amazed when I take this out and hold it. It's really cool. Can you, oh, we got some left in there. There, grab that. Look at that. Can you believe that from a bar of soap, of plain ivory soap, we got this? So this would be quite a surprise if you just put this in the bathtub, but we're not going to do that. Okay, so what we are going to do is take our soap cloud, and we've got a clean bowl here. We're going to take it and just kind of crumble it up. Now you want to be sure you put a towel down because this does kind of make a mess. It turns into soap flakes. You can just take off chunks. Just like that. Breaks into flakes. So, we're going to add our water next. Oh, you'll need a spatula too, or a big spoon. Okay, so we're going to add our water, and I've got a 1/4 of a cup here. You might not need this much. I'm going to start with about 1/8, and then we can always add more. So you're going to just kind of take your spatula or spoon and break this up into even smaller bits. Just like that. Okay, now we're going to add our soap coloring. You can add fragrance if you want to. I happen to be out of that. I did use it in these others and in the samples that I've already made up. So I don't have any for this. But that's okay. We're going to have purple soap. Some of you really like purple. It's your favorite color, so you would love purple soap. Now this is a really nice thing to give for a gift. It's inexpensive and it's easy to make, but it's a personalized gift. So whoever you give this to, whether it's your sister or your mom or your grandma, or maybe even if you do, you could do team colors. So if your dad's team colors are blue and orange, you could do one batch of blue and one batch of orange, and he would probably love to have personalized soap. So we're going to mix this up. This will take about 2 minutes. I think I'm going to add a little more food coloring. There we go, or soap coloring. Alright, so I'm going to mix this up, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like before we add it to our cookie cutters. Okay, as you can see, we've got our soap is mixed together now. I could have mixed it a little bit better. Now, one option you can do is if you have a food processor and you want to put it in your food processor and mix that up with the water, that will make it a little bit finer, but for my purposes, it doesn't really matter. So what I'm going to do now is you take a big baking tray and you want to line it with a piece of wax paper. And then you can kind of see what I've done here with some of the other soaps, the more Christmassy soaps that I have. I don't have a huge selection of holiday cookie cutters. So today we are making a purple dog bone, a purple circle, and a purple heart, and a little purple dog bone. Which would be great if whoever you're giving this to loves dogs. And the person that I'm giving these to does love dogs, so it works out well. So you're going to just break off a little piece, and it just needs to be enough to fill in your cookie cutter. And you want to take the soap and just push it down in. Be sure you fill up every little part of the cookie cutter. If you want to, you can take a wooden stick to smooth it off to make it flat, but you can get it pretty flat just with your finger too. Now you can make these soaps as big or as small as you want. If you don't want to fill it all the way up, the cookie cutter all the way up, that's fine. You don't have to. You can make little dog bone soaps. So we fill these little spots up. Now this is a really easy recipe too. Sometimes we've made things that are foods that are messy and it's kind of a pain to clean our hands up. This isn't, because it's soap. So all you do is stick your hands under the water and you don't even have to get extra soap. This just does it for you. It cleans your hands off. And since I didn't add fragrance to this kind, it just smells like ivory soap. But this I added vanilla, so this smells like vanilla soap. Now we'll do our big dog bone. Put this down in there. So after you get these all finished, get your cookie cutters all finished up, you need to let them dry overnight and get hard again, because we've added some water, so it's made the soap a little bit softer. So you can just leave them right on this tray, and I just set the tray on my dryer. You can set it, on the counter, wherever you want. But what I will do, I'll show you, I've made a few ahead of time so you can see what they look like. These same shapes. Oh, I do have an extra shape. I have a star shape that I made before. So these are our finished product. Here is our big dog bone, our little star, our little circle. Now these kind of got banged up because they've been in this bag, and I dropped the bag on the floor, so that will kind of damage your soaps as well, but you get the idea. So to take these out when they're dry and ready to be used, you're going to just pick this up and you'll push down on the top, and the soap will come right out the bottom, and then you can wrap them in a fancy box if you want, or put them in a nice bag and tie it with ribbon, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to go wash my hands and then come back. We have one more last minute gift before Christmas, because Christmas is next week, so we don't have a lot of time to make anything else. So I'm going to get cleaned up, and then we'll be right back here to make our last gift, and you only need a few supplies for that too. We're back to make our second, it's not really a recipe, but it's a recipe for a craft, a gift recipe of the day. So what we're going to make now are homemade snow globes. So you might be able to see I've got strawberry shortcake inside here, and when I go like this, it's a snowstorm of glitter. There's a lot of glitter in this one. we're going to make another one so you can see exactly how to do it. This is a great gift to give someone or just a cool decoration for your house. So we're going to go ahead and set strawberry shortcake down, and you're going to need an adult to help you with this one because it involves a hot glue gun. So I've got my hot glue gun ready to go, and what you need is a jar. This is just an old, I think olives were in it, just an old glass jar. You could use plastic if you want. If you have an old peanut butter jar, you could use that too. And you need a little figurine. Now I've got this old Santa and Mrs. Claus figurine that I'm going to use because it's Christmas. So what you need to do is put some glue, or ask your adult assistant to put some glue on the bottom of the ornament. We're going to stick this down, and you want to be sure it's good and stuck, because there's going to be water, and once we put the water and glitter in, we can't really do anything about it if it doesn't stick. So then you want to just put it on the lid, and what you want to do is do a quick test and be sure the lid still goes over. It does. Good. So we did good placement on that. So we need to just hold this down for a minute until it dries. Now you can use any color glue or a glitter that you want. Oh, you also need something called glycerin, and you can buy this at the drugstore. That's where I got mine, and you need just a little bit of that. And the reason we need that is that helps the glitter not be all clumpy and stick together. Okay. They seem to be stuck pretty good. We'll let them just sit there for just a minute. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go fill up my water, and I'm going to fill it up to about here. We're going to, once we put the lid on, we're going to go ahead and hot glue around the edge just to be sure that we don't have any space for water to come out. So give me just a minute. I'm going to go fill this up with water. I'll be right back. You keep an eye on Santa. Okay, we're back with our water. So the next thing to do is add some glycerin. Now I'm going to add just a couple of drops. And you can kind of see it swirl around in the bottom there. And now we're going to add glitter. And I'm just using some silver glitter. You can use whatever color glitter you want. Let's see here. I'm going to just dump just a little bit in. We had too much before, and it's kind of hard to see strawberry shortcake. Okay, so now our hot glue should be dried, and we're ready to go ahead and put our Santa and Mrs. Claus. Oh yeah, they're stuck down there nicely. Ready to go ahead and put them in and shake them up. So you can see how it's glued to the lid, so you just turn them upside down and put them in just like you're putting the lid on any old jar. Uh-oh. They fell off. Apparently it wasn't quite dry. So we're going to try this again. I'm going to dry Mrs. Claus off. Actually, I'm going to go wash them off, and then we'll be right back. We're back, and I have fixed Santa and Mrs. Claus. But you know, I was thinking that it probably would be kind of cool if you had things floating around. If you don't want to glue anything down, you don't have to. You can just put your water and glitter, and you could put, I don't know, whatever you want to in there. Little bouncy balls or anything that you think would be cool. So we're going to try this again. We're going to put Santa and Mrs. Claus in here and close our lid. Make sure we don't have any leaks. I don't feel any water. See them in there? Dancing around. Okay, we've got one last step that we're going to do, and that is to put hot glue around the edge of our jar. So this is the job your adult assistant will need to do, but they're going to just make one seam around the lid of the jar so that just in case there aren't any leaks. It's kind of like insurance. Oops. So here we have, so we're going to shake it up. And here's Santa and Mrs. Claus in her homemade snow globe. Isn't this cool? I think this is a great craft. Shake it up and there's more glitter. I just love it. I hope you have fun making this project if you decide to make the project. And if you do make it, I'd love to see a picture. Ask your mom or dad to send it to me. I think that would be awesome to see your creations. So we will see you next time. Merry Christmas.